Hello and welcome to TBC News, our top stories. Tanzania restates its readiness for CHAN and AFCON. Cashew board of Tanzania aims higher cashew production to double.
So our mission, as we are going toward 2030, our plan is to increase production to reach 1 million metric tons production per annum.
Good evening, I am Kanki Mwegomole. You can also follow us live via YouTube channel TBC Online and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and X pages at TBC Online. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says the government is well prepared to complete all the necessary preparations, including stepping up proper infrastructure for the African Nations Championship, CHAN, and Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. He made the remarks during the Bunge Bonanza Sports Festival sporting event that brings together members of parliament and their staff, held at the John Maryland Secondary School grounds in Dodoma.
Bonanza leo ya leo inawaleta wanamichezo wote.
This Bonanza is a wonderful initiative to foster unity and collaboration among Tanzanians. By combining sports with community building, it provides an opportunity not just for physical activity, but also for people from different backgrounds, whether they are parliamentarians, sportsmen, or ordinary citizens, to connect and share ideas.
The Prime Minister has congratulated the Speaker of Parliament, Dr. Tulia Ackson, for organizing the Bunge Bonanza Sports Festival, bringing together parliamentaries in Dodoma region.
An incredible opportunity to host the prestigious CHAN and the AFCON competitions, and we should all unite in ensuring we are fully prepared for this monumental occasion. The government has prioritized planning to improve and maintain our stadiums and other essential infrastructure. It's also encouraging to see that the stadiums across the mainland and in Zanzibar are already in great shape. These upgrades will be a major boost not only for the games, but for the tourism and economy, as we will welcome visitors from across Africa and beyond. This is our time to shine, to show the world what Tanzania has to offer, and to leave a lasting impact on the global football community.
Many African countries in Africa face high and often fluctuating power tariffs, significantly impacting businesses, often leading to increased operational costs, reduced competitiveness, and limited growth potential. Speaking with my colleague Nasa Kingu, the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akiwumi Adeshina, insists that African countries must consolidate their least cost ways of producing electricity with the right mix of electricity generation sources.
The first is you have to actually produce power with the right mix. And so that's why for the African Energy Summit and the Energy Compact, the first pillar for us is to have the least cost way of producing electricity. And so the fact that you have electricity doesn't mean it's cheap electricity, but there may be other ways in which you can get electricity done at a lower cost. That's where the whole issue is. And if you have two people come to you and they say, look, we can provide you electricity, and you didn't do your due diligence well, and you say this one should go ahead, but the tariff they're going to be charging you is much higher than somebody else can provide for you. So that's why transparency in terms of the procurement of your of this is very, very important. Secondly, scale matters. When you do things, little stuff, the unit cost is high. If you actually just do big projects in which your unit costs are lower, then you can pass on that to your customers in terms of tariff. The third is, why are you charging me for what is not working? You know, it is not you that, you're not doing me any favors as a company for electricity, right? There must be cost to the extent to which the consumers are satisfied or otherwise with the quality of service. There must be regulations to say, look, you're giving me electricity, but I'm not getting electricity. I'm getting infrequently, but you are charging me all the same. You know, so what is that? Why are you taxing me for not giving me anything?
Furthermore, Dr. Adeshina calls for a strategic distribution system that includes means to subsidize electricity for the lower income groups.
For the ability, the reality is, in every society, you have very rich people. You have poorer people in rural areas. And you have to have a cross-subsidization approach that you can actually subsidize the access to electricity for those that are in the lower income group, because they can pay. You can charge your industry a lot more, you can charge rich people a lot more, so that the bulk of the population can actually have access to electricity. They don't run air conditioners. Maybe in your home and mine, we run a lot of air conditioners. We should be paid more. So that means that we must have flexible systems that allows people to be able to get electricity at a lower cost. So one size fits all of the past is just not the way to go. And at the end of the day, the reality is just that there will be some affordability gaps that we have to pay, governments have to pay to connect to the difference between the regulatory tariff that many countries have and the actual tariff that the countries will have. I mean, the utilities will charge. You need to subsidize, but you have to be careful. Otherwise, as your population grows and the intensity of use of electricity grows, that subsidy will continue to rise, and that becomes unprofitable. So, I mean, unsustainable. So the best thing is to have utilities that are independent, cost-effective, using a scale, generating with mix of energy, able to deliver quality service at a lower cost for consumers, and I think that's more sustainable.
On the 28th of January 2025, 30 African heads of state and the government committed to concrete reforms and actions to expand access to reliable, affordable and sustainable electricity to power economic growth, improve quality of lives and drive job creation across the continent. In other news, the Tanzania Cashew Board has declared its intention to use the 19th African Cashew Alliance Annual Cashew Conference to acquire new technology in order to boost cashew production from the present 500,000 tons to 1 million tons by 2030. Here are more details.
The intent was announced by the Director General of the Cashew Board, Francis Alfred, heading to the upcoming 19th African Cashew Alliance ACA Annual Cashew Conference and Expo, which will be held in Dar es Salaam from the 18th to the 22nd of November 2025, aiming to unlocking cashew investment opportunities for sustainable economic growth.
Our mission, as we are going toward 2030, our plan is to increase production to reach 1 million metric tons production per annum. And we want to increase processing, because currently almost 80% of our raw cashew is being sold outside while it's raw, not processed. But we want by 2030 to process all our cashew here. So our essence of having this meeting is to invite investors to come and invest in value addition. It means the processing, but also learning from other countries what are they doing, so that we can prosper well toward our objective of being one of the major producers of cashew globally.
On the other, Ernest Minter says this year's conference will highlight the important need to strategically invest in areas such as research, human capacity development, policy directives, innovations and technology, traceability, food safety, among others, in the cashew industry to propel sustainable growth.
While we recognize the good investment by governments and the private sector to increase production and revive local cashew processing, a lot more investments are required in different aspects of the cashew value chain to attain the desired growth. This is because with the right investment, the cashew industry has the potential to propel sustainable economic growth of cashew-producing countries, particularly in Africa and Asia, while also strengthening the economies of our end markets.
For the third time, Tanzania is hosting the conference, which will bring together 33 cashew-producing countries and 500 stakeholders in the sector to discuss the direction and opportunities of the crop in developing a sustainable economy, where there will be a series of presentations, thematic forum discussions, workshops, and information sessions featuring seasoned cashew experts, analysts, industry players, and development partners on important issues of sustainability in the cashew industry. Faibangaga, TBC News.
More than 40 Italian investors are expected to participate in the upcoming high-level 4th edition of the Italy-Tanzania Business Forum, which is expected to also involve more than 350 Tanzanian companies. Speaking to TBC News, the ambassador of Italy to Tanzania, Giuseppe Sean Coppola, says trade ties between Tanzania and Italy have experienced steady growth over the years, with an increased cooperation across various sectors, including industry, agriculture, and pharmaceutical. Caroline Maleo has more details.
The ambassador made these remarks while speaking to journalists in Dar es Salaam, inviting Tanzanians to the business forum, an event organized by the Embassy of Italy and the Italian Trade Agency in partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Tanzania Investment Center, which will take place on the 11th and the 12th of February 2025 at Julius Nyerere International Convention Center.
So it will be a very, I think, a very interesting event and a great opportunity to foster economic and commercial ties between Italy and Tanzania. Among the 4 editions of the Business Forum, this is the edition in which we had a larger number of Italian companies responding to the forum, which is a very good sign. In different sectors, of course, there will be a focus on 3 macro areas, which is Agrotech and blue economy, including fertilizers, irrigation systems, breeding technology, leather, fisheries and agriculture, cold chain and packaging.
Meanwhile, the Trade Commissioner from the ICE agency, Claudio Pasqualucci, says that the forum will bring together over 40 Italian investors, representatives from 7 Italian umbrella associations, and more than 350 Tanzanian companies, with a goal to strengthen relationships with local stakeholders while exploring investment opportunities.
350 Tanzanian companies that are joining the business forum. So it will be a massive event where the 2 entities will talk, we dialogue in 2 days, full days of a program of activities. We'll have roundtables, we will have a thematic session, we have a lot of B2B, so it will be a fully comprehensive event.
This high-level forum provides Italian businesses with an excellent opportunity to engage with Tanzanian stakeholders, showcasing Italian technologies and explore bilateral trade and partnership opportunities available in Tanzania. Caroline Maleo, TBC News.
Tanzania's health sector has made strides in diagnosis and treatment in liver-related diseases following advancement in science and technology, with prospects of establishing liver transplant services in the near future. Speaking to TBC News, liver diseases medical specialist from Aga Khan Hospital, Dr. Bishoy Raphael, elaborates that statistically, liver diseases are still life-threatening and require immediate medical attention.
To the WHO, the recent statistics for prevalence of liver disease in Tanzania, they stated that we do have more than 2.5% of the populations are suffering from liver-related diseases. Most of them, or the most common prevalence here in Tanzania, is hepatitis B virus infection. I believe the second rank may come with alcoholic fatty liver disease or alcoholic-induced liver diseases. These are the most common prevalence of liver disease in Tanzania. Also, the WHO stated that the number of deaths, it's around 6,500 deaths per year related to liver disorders or liver diseases.
Furthermore, Dr. Raphael calls on every Tanzanian to take necessary precautions to factors that may lead to liver diseases like drug overdose and excessive drinking.
which I believe it's all available here in the country now. We can do all the tests related to liver diseases. And also we do have a machine is like ultrasound, is called liver elastography assessment or FibroScan, which can assess the damage to the liver and the degree of cirrhosis. If there is cirrhosis, is like at the beginning, initial degrees, or it's advanced cirrhosis or advanced degree of liver cirrhosis. And also this machine is available here, and we use it for evaluation of any patients with hepatitis B or hepatitis C before starting treatment.
Tanzania continues to position itself as a recognizable destination for medical tourism across the African region, and the advancement in liver diseases diagnosis and treatment reinforces the determination. Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, reassures the government's commitment to support young people in innovation that brings solutions to the challenges facing the agriculture sector in the country. He made the assurance during the climax of the Agrotech Innovation Challenge for Young Innovators in Dar es Salaam, urging young Tanzanians to tap into the country's innovation achievements to improve the agriculture sector. Peter Mganga reports.
In sub-Saharan Africa alone, agriculture accounts for about 40% national GDP. This sector is not just a driver of economic growth, it forms the foundation for other industries, including manufacturing, food processing, and services. Here, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, Professor Riziki Shemdoe, explains how Tanzania is committed to create friendly environment for young innovators in Tanzania.
We call upon youth to see the possibilities that they can innovate. You know, youth, sometimes they need some, innovative initiatives. So we will still facilitate the innovative initiatives so that we can have more and more youth engaged in such kind of technological innovations.
On the other hand, the country director of Haifa International, Mark Sokso, says most of innovative ideas presented by young people in the Agrotech Innovation Challenge are relevant to the society, while Dayo Adoroja, who is youth and innovation lead for Africa Haifa International, vows to support young innovators across the African continent.
Most of these innovations are about post-harvest loss. And according to our statistics, that we are losing about 40% of the farm produce. That is a huge loss to a country like this. So these innovations are very relevant.
Technology is the melting pot for more and more young people in the world today. And if we're able to combine the economic potential of Africa's agriculture with the vibrancy of youth technology, then we're able to bring together that transformative force, okay, that enables more and more young people to bring their creative energy.
Furthermore, some of young innovators used the opportunity to urge more youth to be solution makers in the society through innovative ideas, especially towards agriculture sector.
The agriculture sector, that is where I would say where the opportunities are, because there are lots of challenges and they need innovative solutions. So my call is for the youth to ensure that we take this opportunity or this advantage to use it very effectively to provide these innovative solutions.
Through this platform, we have been able to engage with many stakeholders from the country and others even outside the country. So such kind of platforms are good and important for prosperity of innovation and youth, because what we need is just an opportunity to showcase what we are doing. So this is what Ayuta is offering.
The first winner of the Agrotech Innovation Challenge has received 25 million Tanzania shillings, where the whole process involved 260 groups of innovators who presented their innovative ideas. Peter Mganga, TBC News, Dar es Salaam.
According to the World Health Organization, tobacco use amongst young people is a growing concern, with alarming statistics pointing to a public health crisis. In an exclusive interview with TBC News, the head of the health cluster of the Southern Africa Youth Forum, who's working on the tobacco control agenda, Vivian Joseph, says that the situation calls for immediate action as it endangers the current and future generations. Caroline Maleo has more details.
A report by the World Health Organization released in 2024 shows that more than 37 million children between the age of 13 and 15 years old are tobacco consumers. The head of the health cluster of the Southern Africa Youth Forum, who is working on tobacco control agenda, Vivian Joseph, warns that this is an alarm to both the current and the future generation.
This is very alarming for we, the young generation, and the generation that is to come, to knowing that the effects of tobacco are going to be directly impacting us and us, our present and our future.
Vivian further emphasizes on the efforts done by the Southern Africa Youth Forum to protect young people in the Southern African region against the negative impacts of tobacco, including pioneering tobacco control agenda and advocating for policy formulation.
We are working effortlessly to making sure that the tobacco control agenda is spoken, is discussed, is advocated for, but also implemented to ensuring the right policies are set to protect the young people of Southern Africa. And as of last year, we successfully handed over the tobacco control policy paper to the Secretary General of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, Her Excellency Boemo Sekoma.
On the other hand, Vivian commends the government and health organs for the ongoing efforts in tobacco control through the Tobacco Products Regulations Act.
We have seen a number of efforts that the government and different health organs working around controlling tobacco. But there's a really huge gap that the government should really put on the ministries of health and the ministries of social welfare to making sure that we are dreaming and creating a society that knows and truly understands the effects of the consumption of tobacco. I cannot fathom why young people until today we are not able to grasp the effects, negative effects of tobacco. And I think it's high time for young people to stand up together and fight for our health and fight for the health of the children of now and the future. It is our role, it is our task, and it is our responsibility.
More than 1.3 billion children worldwide use tobacco products, of which 80% belong to the low and middle income countries. Caroline Malewa, TBC News.
In case you missed any of our news stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere. Before concluding our local news for tonight, let's take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in the exchange rates. It's now time for the international news. Here's the international news as compiled and read to you by Nyambona Masamba.
International news starts in Africa. South Africa has defended a bill allowing expropriation of property for public use after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to cut funding in response. The bill allows the government to take control of some property deeds in public interest without compensation in some cases. Trump said he will stop all future funding until the situation is investigated. South Africa said its policy is not exceptional. Here is South Africa Mineral Resource Minister.
Therefore, Trump will withhold funding to South Africa. And I said, let's not mobilize Africa. Let's withhold minerals to U.S. That is it. If they don't give us money, let's not give them minerals. But the reality, they take our minerals, but say we're withdrawing funding. No, we have minerals in the continent, and therefore we have something that we have. We're not just beggars.
From Africa to North America, the Premier of Canada, most popular province, said he is banning American companies from securing any contracts there. That is in response to 25% tariff from Canada, which is due to take effect on Tuesday. Premier Doug Ford of Ontario said the ban will stay in place until the measure is revoked. He also said Ontario is ripping up the province's contract with Ironmax internet company. To DRC, thousands of displaced people have been living on the outskirts of Goma are homeless again. Their shelters were destroyed and their tents looted when Rwandan-backed rebels led by M23 overran provincial capital. Fighters have told them to return home as they continue an advance to the city of Bukavu. However, when they came back, they found all their properties have been stolen. Many people fled from their home villages as rebels M23 continue to advance. The rebels have taken North Kivu's provincial capital. More than 700 people died in the battle for Goma, but M23 has told those who are sheltering in the camps to go back to their homes. To Sudan, Sudanese army has been regaining control of some parts of the capital Khartoum. Is the battle with paramilitary rapid support forces have caused widespread destruction while millions of people have fled. Those who stay through 2 years of conflict say there is glimmering of hope now the army is in control. The army's operation has focused on Bahari in recent weeks. The rapid support forces control most of Bahari since the war began in April 2023. Many of these residents were forced to flee as basic services were cut off and the hospitals destroyed, leaving few options for health care. This well was the only source event for rebels in less than 2 kilometers away. The Bahari dwellers say the RSF never allowed them to go to the river to fetch water. If they catch you, you will be beaten and accused of passing information to the army.
Thank you so much, Nyambona Masamba, with the international news. Sports news is up next. And in sports, China Railway Construction Engineering Group project assistant Guantua James says the renovation of the Benjamin Mkapa and Uhuru stadiums continues to gain momentum. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, the project assistant believes that the renovations of the stadiums will be completed as planned to facilitate the CHAN and AFCON tournaments.
We have done concrete repairing using PVA and cement, which allows the bonding of old cement and the new cement. Also, it allows the duration of the stairs for the new seats to be replaced. Also, we have done scaffold fixing or scaffold for protecting our existing labels, for removing of old sheets, metal sheets, to put the new ones and repairing the old scaffold. Also, we have done a removal of pitch glass. For the work of concrete repairing, it takes like a month, and for scaffold fixing, it takes like maybe 3 months because we have a large area to cover. And for the delivering of materials, it will take some time, but after 3 months, maybe it will be done. So you're welcome to come and see our site.
The stadiums are among the venues set to host the African Nations Championship CHAN in August, and African Cup of Nations AFCON 2027 to be held in Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. And that's the end of the sports news. Stay tuned for our next bulletin at 11 p.m. tonight in Kiswahili. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Kanki Mwegomole. Good night.
TBC1, ukweli na uhakika.